But we obviously have some of the same issues, being regulators. I suppose what's really different for the agency that I come from is that we are not Commonwealth-based. We're a state-based regulator that works on a national level. Our legislation is very complex, and it is quite unique in a way that it is adopted by each of the other states or territories. And that being the case, it means that we need to produce briefs of evidence in different jurisdictions in a different way, depending on the criminal the criminal practice rules of each state. So that's quite unique for us. And what Comtrac has allowed us to do is basically build a brief of evidence representative of what is required in each jurisdiction. So that for us has been a huge advantage. Back to about 3 years ago, I was involved at the end of the procurement process for Comtrac as a case management system. And one of the things that the NHVR were contemplating was, again, similar to AWE, was the need to have consistent, unbiased investigations. And that was around a very complex safety legislation and changes that we had in our law back in 2018, which basically brought about issues around different corporations law and the need to simply have a system that really spelt everything out for us because of how complex these charges were and are. We're still going through that process. So being able to elementize the offences was just a huge advantage for us, and to see that built into the CMS system as it was and how it stood as Comtrac has been a massive plus for us as well. The only other thing I could probably think of that hasn't been touched on is simply just the sheer size of briefs of evidence these days. The size of our briefs of evidence, including the digital evidence that goes into them, the data that we capture from GPS systems, your record of interviews through to all your digital data. The briefs of evidence have just exploded in size. So it's become nearly impractical to be able to get a brief like that before a court in a hard copy. So to me, in my opinion, is obviously that moving forward, that the only way to go is digital to keep up with the ever-moving technical space that is digital data. So that's been a huge advantage, and being able to share the stuff through the portal and the other task management systems built within Comtrac has been a huge advantage as well. And we actually have been through a number of briefs of evidence and charges that are before the court, having used this case management system. And the prosecutors, again, have been involved in the process of, I suppose, collaborating with us and making sure that the evidence is presented in that matrix, in that evidence matrix, at the earliest possible stage so that everybody understands it. So the group brainstorming around that, again, has been something that probably didn't do many years ago in the police. You just went with what you knew best, and you threw the charge up before the court. But now there seems to be a lot more collaboration, and to be able to do that with, even very recently as yesterday, to be able to speak with barristers and prosecutors about the charges that we're about to put before a court has been really worthwhile.